Hello and welcome back to Hop to the Top. Hope you're all doing well today and you're looking forward to the penultimate few games, or the final few games I should say, in the Champions League group stages against Manchester City and Celtic. Now, since you guys were last here, our form hasn't been brilliant. Our form's been good, but the way we've played hasn't been good, I should probably say. We have won most of our games since you were last here for the win against Celtic and the draw against Ajax. Since then, we have played 6 games and we've won 4 and drawn 2 of them. We started off with a 1-0 win over Basel, Harry Kane with goal in that one, and we followed up with another 1-0 win with Harry Kane also getting the goal against Zurich in the Swiss Cup third round, which was good stuff. Unfortunately, we ended up drawing 0-0 with Luzern after that, which wasn't particularly good, and actually we drew 0-0 with Lausanne after that as well in the league as well, which also wasn't particularly good. In between those 2 games, we played against Ajax. We beat them 4-2 in the group stages. Harry Kane with a brace, Pedro with 1 and Nunes with the other one. And then finally, we beat Zurich once again 1-0 with Luca Anselmi getting the goal in the 80th minute in that particular game. So, as you can see, we've won 3 games 1-0, we've drawn 2 games 0-0, and then we've beaten Ajax 4-2. So our league form is a little bit dodgy, I've got to say. We're being very lucky in some of these games, and some games just not performing quite to how we expect us to perform at least. So that's something that we need to address. As it stands right now, we are actually still top of the table, only by a point ahead of Basel. We are top of the table nonetheless, which is pretty good going. In terms of the Champions League group, we are looking pretty solid to finish second in the group. We are second as it stands right now. Man City have already qualified. If we beat them today, there is a chance for us to go and top the group, but beating them and then relying on Man City losing to Ajax is a very big ask, and I'm not quite sure that will happen. So I'm pretty sure Man City will go through top of the group and we will go through second as it stands right now. Other than that, there's not an awful lot of news to tell you about, so we're going to jump straight into today's game with a few little changes around the starting lineup. Kalas is in goal as per usual with a backline of Dorival, Ross McQuaid, Sterigu and Silva Rees. Lo Celso and Pedro make up that midfield partnership, but Alex Smith comes in today to replace Nunes, who's looking a little bit tired in that attacking midfield. Capitano hasn't played a game since you guys were last year, I don't think, hence why he's on 44% match sharpness, but only because Billy Schmitz has got injured just at the very end of in between recording, so he's going to miss out in today's game against Man City, so Capitano comes back into the squad. Brian Gill starts on the left, which is a big change, and Anselmi is starting up front today rather than Harry Kane, who's looking a little bit tired, and I want to give Anselmi a chance to prove himself against a big club. We're not really meant to win this game, we're not expected to, so I'm trying to give a few players in the attacking positions a chance to shine today. So as kickoff is upon us here today, now that we are a good few episodes into this season, we can sort of start to assess life after Bottles, and quite frankly, we aren't scoring quite as many goals as we did with Bottles, and that is kind of understandable because he was such a fantastic, phenomenal striker. Losing him, we were never going to score as many goals as we would if we did have him in the squad, but I do think that we have strengthened the squad in good areas, and I do think that overall the team is better off. Whilst we might not be scoring as many goals, I do think we are better off as a whole unit, which is something really, really good. I think the new wing-backs we've got are fantastic. They provide a lot of width to the squad, and I think they're really, really good. The new winger we've got, Brian Gill, is very good, and Selmy is very good. They've been playing very well. Obviously, Lo Celso has been fantastic in midfield. Harry Kane has provided 11 goals so far this season. I think we have got a really good squad that is slightly better than last season, but because we've got quite a few good new players in the squad, it is taking a little bit more time to gel than I thought it would. So, again, I'm still sticking with it. By the end of the season, I think we should have a very good side capable of being into the later stages of a Champions League knockout stages. If we can get the quarterfinals again, maybe sneak to the semi-finals, I think that is entirely possible of this squad. And judging by the fact that we are currently 0-0 with Man City at half-time into today's game, or very nearly half-time, that is just showing you how good defensively this team is, I've got to say. I think we do have a very good defensive setup, apart from we lost 5-1, obviously, last time to Man City. But that wasn't on camera. You didn't see that demolition job. We were terrible that day, but that was a good 10 games or so ago, earlier on the season while we're still gelling. It had to happen at some point as well, especially away from home. So I do feel like we do have a very good side, and it's just going to take a little bit more time to gel and things like that. But we will get there, and I think we will have a great chance of winning or getting close to winning a Champions League by the end of this season or next season. Sterigu gets the ball, plays back to Kalas, very risky there, but gets it out to Silva Rees. Capitano on a yellow card is looking a little bit nervous out there. Lo Celso up towards Silva Rees, who's in behind the defence. Should have taken on a little bit more, I've got to say, rather than passing it into Anselmi so early on. But we do retain possession as Capitano takes the shot and puts it just wide of the post. I think that's the closest that we've seen so far into this game. I think we hit the post earlier on when I was talking, actually, from a free kick or something like that. Or there's no woodwork, so it must have just been saved by the goalkeeper. But either way, we had a good chance earlier on. That was a great chance. I think of the key chances, clear-cut chances, 0 for both sides, 1 half chance for Man City. I feel like we've been a bit hard done by there in the stats. I think we've had the better of the chances from what I've seen so far. Man City, though, coming forward with half an hour or so to go into Mbappe. They've got such a good side, Man City. Like, I'm surprised they've not scored goals past us already in today's game because they've got such a good side. Finally, I say finally, I thought Kalas missed that, but it hit the woodwork and bounced back, and Kalas collected the ball, which was very lucky. 20 minutes to go or so, though. We are going to bring the big guns on to try and score a goal, because I think we are in it. We may as well bring these big guns on to see what they can do. So Harry Kane and Nunes can get themselves onto the pitch for now. Also, let's bring Guardado on at left back, because Dorival is not playing massively well. He's playing relatively average, I would say. So let's get Guardado on, see what he can do. Bomb it down that left-hand side. Maybe put a cross onto the head of Nunes, who can nod it down to Harry Kane to put it in the back of a net. 10 minutes to go. Let's get creative out there as Silveris gives it to Pedro. Silveris back to Pedro. Can he get this one in the area? No, puts it out to Lo Celso on the edge of the area. That was a great opportunity to put it in the area, but he didn't. Guardado gets it in the area, though, and Harry Kane hits the post from that opportunity, with two substitutes combining brilliantly there to get it onto the post. Not quite in the back of the net, which is unfortunate. But as the clock ticks down, a 0-0 draw with Man City, I've got to say, is a pretty decent result. Very even on the stats. Man City perhaps slightly more in it than we are, but still a very even game against an elite European side. I think we can be very pleased with that. That draw does confirm, I think, that Man City have won the group, so fair play to them. Ajax beat Celtic 2-0, which actually might confirm we've gone through as well, which is interesting. Young Boys lost to Bilbao, so I don't think they're going through into the later stages, unfortunately. No message there to say that we have gone through yet, so actually we probably haven't. We have gone through Q2. We have qualified because Ajax are 4 points behind with 1 game to go. So fantastic stuff. We have qualified. So actually, thinking about that, we might just switch up what we're going to do in today's episode, because there's no point doing that Celtic game, really, is there now? So we may as well just go and do the Young Boys game in the league. Young Boys are sitting 3rd right now. They're a good 7 points behind us. So they want to try and beat us to catch up a little bit. So it's going to be quite a big game. We'll do that one instead, I reckon. Basel still doing well in their group. Hopefully they will beat Bayern Munich today, and if they do, they will pretty much be qualified through to the later stages, I think, so fingers crossed. Basel end up losing 4-2 in the end, but if we look at the overview, they are 2nd in their group still, level on points with Lyon. Come on, lads. I hope that Basel can do it. Obviously, I'll update you on this next episode when we go through into the later stages of European football and things like that, but fingers crossed Basel will be going through. Only one other team in Europe, Young Boys bottom of their group, not going through at all. Only one other team in Europe, that's in the Europa League, and Luzern are currently 2nd in their group, so hopefully they will go through as well, and then we'll have 3 out of the 4 teams that got to the group stages into the later stages of European football. So the lineup for the game against Young Boys, the team does need to change around a little bit. Silveris is tired, so he'll come off for Thad Davis. The rest of the back line, though, looks pretty fit enough. The midfield partnership is going to change. Lo Celso is looking tired and is in need of a rest, apparently. So we'll bring Schneider on the pitch for him and Juric on the pitch for Pedro. In terms of the front 3, how is Billy Schmitz looking? He's looking relatively fit again, so we'll put him back on the pitch for Capitano. I feel like I also want to get Harry Kane back on the pitch for this one instead of Anselmi, so Harry Kane can come back on for him, and Nunes should probably come back on, but Alex Smith played relatively well, so let's give Alex Smith another chance out there as well. So that's the lineup. Submit that team. Let's go and take on Young Boys. So then kickoff is upon us once again in today's episode. Young Boys playing fairly defensively, having 2 CDMs, only 1 centre midfielder. So they are playing very defensively, and already we've had 5 shots against them as we just obviously want to push forward on them, basically. They're just inviting us, aren't they, to attack them, which is interesting. Unfortunately, none of them have turned into chances yet, although saying that, a chance right now in this particular highlight. Perhaps we'll get forward with the ball. Sterigu makes a good interception there as we get the ball forward. Juric out towards Billy Schmitz. Billy Schmitz coming down his right-hand side. Can he get the cross in? No, it's a good tackle there from... Oh, it's going to VAR, this. Interesting. I thought it was just a good tackle going out for a corner, but apparently not. Referee is going to consult the VAR on this one for The third time in 2 episodes we've had a penalty go to the VAR decision like this. And the referee is coming back, and what's he going to say? No penalty. Interesting. You don't get many of those, I've got to say. So trying to play it out from the back, Sterigu gives the ball away. Oh, what's just happened here? As he's just been given a red card, it's going to, the referee's going to the VAR again, all right? Since the update that came out not long ago, I see that the referees love using the VAR now all the time, and loads of highlights about it. It's a little bit annoying, actually, it takes so long like this. Apparently, I'm not quite sure what he was looking at there, but the referee's gone to VAR. Apparently, it didn't look like a foul, but he's been given a free kick, and actually, Young Boys came very close to scoring there. They've got Zidane in goal. Now, is this the real guy? I thought this could be a regen. Information. Is he actually related to Zinedine Zidane? It doesn't actually say anything there. He is French, though. Thing is, if he was related to Zinedine Zidane, it would make sense that he's a goalkeeper, because he'd just have to grow up practicing with his dad, but his dad would just take shots all the time, wouldn't he? And he'd have to go in goals. So that would make sense as to why this Zidane would be a goalkeeper, but I presume it's not a relation, because it would say otherwise, wouldn't it, in the game if it was a relation to Zinedine Zidane. Sterigu picks up a 6th red card of the season just before half-time, and again, 0-0 at half-time, much like the Man City game. Aggressively, not happy with how you're playing out there. We need to do so much better in this second half. Again, 12 shots, but none of them going in the back of the net is quite frustrating. And again, another VAR decision in today's game. This time, is it going to be a penalty? Billy Schmitz goes down once again. Will we finally get a decision going in our favour from the VAR? The referee consults it, takes his time with it. This is just so frustrating how long it takes. Just sort it out. Just get it done quickly. And we have been given a penalty, apparently. Fantastic stuff. Harry Kane steps up to take it. Can he make it 1-0? Just about. The keeper dived the right way, but Harry Kane's penalty far too strong. He grabs his 12th of the season, and we go 1-0 up against Grasshoppers. Against Young Boys, that is. I mean, not Grasshoppers. I made that mistake a couple episodes ago. I said we were playing against Grasshoppers when I meant Young Boys. I don't know why I'm thinking we're Young Boys, because that's obviously we're not. We've been Grasshoppers for 8 or 9 seasons now. This is getting a little bit silly. What season is this? Is this season 8? This is season 9 now, isn't it? Gee, this is season 9, the penultimate season. We've done pretty well, I've got to say. We've done pretty well. I'm looking forward to, obviously, the content coming up very soon in terms of Inter Miami and then the journeyman in Eastern Europe as Harry Kane grabbed his 13th goal of the season. But we have done very well with Grasshoppers. I think it's been a good series. Harry Kane racing forward with the ball, looking for his hat-trick, plays it into Brian Gill instead. And actually, Billy Schmitz picks up the 3rd goal of the game there. With only 15 minutes or so to go in today's game, we've turned the style on and we're doing pretty well. Brian Gill picked up a knock, looks very tired, so he will come off the pitch. Also, Billy Schmitz not looking brilliant out there, so we'll swap him out with Harry Kane, and then Nunes can go up front, apparently. Ooh, that's interesting. I've not tried Nunes up front before, but that's what we're going to try for the final 15 minutes. See if he can grab some goals from that position. Obviously, a natural attacking midfielder, but has scored plenty of goals for us. So I would imagine can score quite a few goals if we wanted to play him up front full time, for example, as Dorival puts the ball in towards said Nunes, and he doesn't actually get connection with the ball. It gets cleared, but only as far as Sterigu, back out towards Thad Davis, in towards Harry Kane. Beautiful ball there into Anselmi, who should have finished it off, puts it over the bar instead. Luckily for us, we are 3-0 up in today's game, so it didn't matter if it went in or not. It's just an extra bit of goal difference and a good goal for Anselmi as well. As we draw a close on today's game with only 2 minutes to go of normal time, Alex Smith back out to Thad Davis into the middle. What a cross that is. And Anselmi finally does grab a goal in today's game, which is good stuff for him. Obviously ruined the chance he missed a few moments before, but this time made no mistake and put that one into the... I was about to say buried that into the bottom of the corner, but it was a bit of a weak header and just sort of dribbled into the bottom of the net, I've got to say, as it just goes underneath the goalkeeper there. Keeper should know a lot better, I think. But 4-0 up against Young Boys is a fantastic result against a side that really probably should be the best team in the league, really, but have dropped down in recent years. It's between us and Basel this season as they pick up a win against our big rival Zurich. Still 1 point in it after 15 games this season. That's pretty interesting. Hopefully we'll have a good battle with Basel all season long, not just in the Swiss Super League, but in the Champions League as well. Fingers crossed they go through next episode as well. Speaking of next episode, of course, we're not going to do the game against Celtic next episode, so I'll update you on what happens with Basel when we actually get to the next episode, whenever that's going to be, which will probably be in February, because obviously we've got these few games now and then the winter break. So actually, the Champions League first knockout round comes around middle of February, so we'll probably do that actually next episode. Whoever we play against, we don't know yet, but when we do know, I'll let you know, and that'll probably be tomorrow, so I will see you then. Thank you ever so much for watching today's video. Hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have done, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time for some more Hop to the Top. Have a great one. Goodbye.